This is Hocus Pocus Online, a collaborative interdisciplinary project tour. I want to say welcome. My name is Mitra, and I'm welcoming you as an interdisciplinary artist. I believe we're all artists on the inside, and we all do a variety of different creative activities. There are many definitions of this, and my presentation here, this webinar this morning, is going to cover one specific type. I'm so excited to have you join us for this webinar. You're going to learn about interdisciplinary art trends that give creators more autonomy to choose when and how and with whom they work. I'm looking forward to connecting and helping further your own creative pursuits. And please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions at the end of this. So who are we? Who exactly are we? And by we, I mean you listening to this webinar and myself, other creators that I've collaborated with. We desire to collaborate and innovate with creative technology to inspire ourselves and others. We like to play with new concepts and new people and face challenges together. We think great ideas come about because people consistently collaborate with a shared goal. So, yeah, I have 2 webinars that I'm working on for 2023. This is the first one for January, the Hocus Pocus course. And it's this virtual tour through like the emerging metaverse environments, and it's designed for interdisciplinary creative people who are collaborating. It focuses on my mermaid type project that I've been working on for a few years. And that is in the area of the mystery arts and more specifically tarot cards. I'm also working on a branding course for creative entrepreneurs. That's coming up in February. If you're interested in that, it's a little bit more specifically business oriented. And if you're thinking about a redesign or a refresh of your look, that will be an interesting webinar to check out. We'll be talking about visual identity, writing tone, and of course, the value of a brand. So a little bit more about me, about my Forever Bird studio. It was founded in 2011 after I experienced being laid off from my job, and started doing freelance graphic design out of necessity. And also going back to my childhood when my house burned down in a wildfire. And that I giggle because some of those things are so intense, they're really impactful experiences about the importance of community resilience and adaptability. Sometimes we just need to figure out how to survive. So Forever Bird Studio kind of came out of that energy. And now in 2023, it's really growing and expanding. I'm adding in these new courses, and I'm planning on teaching mask making, community mural, and tarot basics at the Lucidity 10-year reunion festival in Santa Barbara this April. So if any of you are in Santa Barbara, you'd like to attend, that is an amazing, hands-on, community-oriented festival. It's not too big, a lot of locals go, and it's really great. So 9.6 million Americans say that they're self-employed in 2022, according to the internet. So that's a lot of people who find themselves in this situation of self-employment, having to figure things out. And there's a lot of organizations that are available to help network. And some of the organizations that have invited me to present in the past include the City of Santa Clarita, Council for Arts Commission, the Jungian Society for Scholarly Studies Conference, JSSS, the National Association of Women-Owned Businesses, or NAUBO in Ventura County, Camarillo, Working Artists of Ventura Artists Council, Youth Interactive, presented by Arts for Humanity, the San Ynez Valley Arts Salon, and Art Without Limits. So yeah, if you listen to this presentation, you think someone that might like to present it to their audience, yeah, let me know. I'd love to share this with as many people as possible, not just online, asynchronously, but also in person. So what's the vision? What is it that I'm going toward? What has been sustaining me for all these years? It's this Forever Bird Studio represents an eternal spirit being reborn with passion, like the phoenix. What is it that inspires us? We kind of like reinvent ourselves. And we live at a time of radical change where things happen quickly. And the fire, floods, those types of activities happen more frequently. And when they do, we're really grateful that we have trusted people in our network for support. So we're all learning about that. And you can, read more about that on my website. And then also, I do live streaming. So here's a, picture of a candle, a symbol of meditation. The image of the rainbow is also something that's meaningful for me in terms of sort of a promise of like, it's going to be better. You get the rainbow with the storm. So, if you have something that you're rebuilding in your life and you'd like to join me on Twitch while I'm live streaming and get a tarot reading, you're invited here to experience that. I hope I can, support the community with my work as well. So Forever Bird Studio does have a mission, which is to connect interdisciplinary artists and advanced art and humanitarian work. As I've grown up, I've seen, the arts defunded and or humanitarian efforts just kind of like, the soul of it has been, I think, kind of like hidden and weaving in and out of culture since the Industrial Revolution. So there's this mission here of advancing art and humanitarian work, and to inspire people to live, true to themselves, to have the courage to do that, to do what they want and not just what's expected. And there's definitely challenges that come along with following a unique path. So there's this question, how do we live our best lives from childhood to our eventual death, and to know what's possible, we look to the humanities. This is what gives us a picture of what's possible. And I think, so much is possible beyond our wildest dreams. I've worked with over 100 different clients and brands during the years that I've been freelance, and I've had about 100,000 views on my blog, which I'm proud of. I work with a lot of different people collaboratively, and I have a testimonial here from Robert of Intrepid Visioning, Coaching, and Consulting, who I've been working with for 6 years. He is my executive coach, and he wrote some really nice things here about how my core expertise areas in graphic design, creativity, project management, and bringing top quality results to clients are the highest point in my career, and they are exceptional. My working foundation of ethics and integrity, combined with meeting and exceeding client expectations through solid teamwork, will be brought into every client relationship, and potential clients should not underestimate her very sound thinking and decision-making capabilities, which is present in all of her work. So thank you, Robert, for that testimonial. And I do have more on LinkedIn, and I'm so grateful for all the wonderful people I get to work with, and the feelings are very mutual. So values and ethics are really important when it comes to culture. You could say that in the creative culture, that's sort of the bedrock of it. And people don't change as fast as technology changes. So Forever Bird Studio is human-centered, unique, and adaptable. But it's not just about people. We're talking also about integrating technology, which is not as adaptable as people, So like technology, Forever Bird or my studio, I use processes, programs, and systems. Excellence is really important, and that's defined by continuing continuous improvement and process, because I think when you're talking about the arts and the leading edge, we're really talking about quality. So excellence is kind of the whole point, but it's more about process, right? It's a continuous thing. And creativity is also, super important. Creativity, skills for resilience and adaptability. That's how I see creativity in this world. And teamwork, building a trusted network. It's hard to pick 1, 2, 3 here. They kind of all go together in a trifecta. But basically, it's about, being involved in creative projects that involve learning about new people and communities and having participation. It's nowadays talking about hybrid. So we're starting to move into the meat of this presentation. A hybrid approach to creative work is not an either or, but rather a yes and approach. It's a mixed reality with digital and real world overlapping. So we got like a physical studio, and we also have a digital or virtual studio now that is accessible 24/7 worldwide. And it's designed to expand as the audience grows. So I chose here like a little video of a studio in VR chat, and there's 7.4 million estimated total players in this one game, VR chat. Not always in the studio, but yeah, that's a lot of people. Versus, so let's just say 2 million Americans who describe their primary occupation as artist. So there's a lot of, creative energy going into video games that isn't necessarily considered professional art. But yeah, so I'm going to click this and we can watch a little video. This is Puma, and he's doing a still life in VR. So he's got a canvas in front of him and kind of like a brush. You can change the color of the brush. You can change the size of the brush. And you can also change the still life in the center of the room. We did have some like live drawing where someone else who's, in avatar form was holding a pose in the center. So that was pretty cool. And there's Jinx over there working at her canvas. So, yeah, it's pretty neat to hang out in a virtual space, and it's kind of got the calm of a real studio. I mean, people focus and spend time working on their canvases. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, services and products. And what exactly, a little bit more about me. I do have also a personal creative practice. And as much as we can look outside to the humanities to see what's possible, we also need to cultivate the practice of listening to our own authentic voice. And some of the techniques I learned in graduate school at Pacifica included active imagination, dream tending, and mixed method or art practice research. And there's more about my artist statement online if you're interested in looking at that. I've done about 1,500 WordPress posts, about 500 followers on Twitch. I've made about 100 videos, and I have about 1,000 subscribers overall across social media. So pretty small, I'm not really active. I think that social media and personal practice should be something that's rewarding to you. So I don't really have, large goals when it comes to building an audience, but I am contributing, as many of us are contributing, in small amounts, and that's what makes a difference. So the Mermaid Type Project, which is the example I'm using here to introduce a bunch of different ideas around interdisciplinary art, if you're new to that. This is kind of a slide to introduce that. So we have on the left a photograph of actual tarot cards and a booklet that I made. In the middle, we have an illustration or a Photoshop mock-up of those cards when I was still conceiving of them. And on the right, we have a Decentraland exhibition screenshot of a 3D installation of those cards, which included NFTs. So we're going to talk about all those various things. Now, this project started inspired by video games, a long-distance relationship, mythology, and depth psychology. So the mermaid is, like Ariel loses her voice and isn't able to find her voice. So a lot of this is kind of talking about how art and creative processes, they're tools by which and this quote, art is a tool by which society extends its perception. So both society, definitely, and personally, we can become aware of things that we were not previously aware of about ourselves and about others. Literacy. So the depth of this comes not only about speaking, but also in terms of understanding. So digital literacy, or literacy in general, is a theme in the Mermaid Type project, having to do with creating literal letters and dealing with, actually reading. So let's read this here. So literacy, it's our ethical responsibilities to each other and the environment must be considered when engaging in creative activities. Digital art, digital literacy, and open education give us the tools and knowledge to make better decisions and create a more equitable world. We must use these tools responsibly, respecting each other and the environment to ensure that our digital world is equitable, safe, and prosperous. So there's a sense of responsibility or education that comes with working in the arts or working with the humanities. So again, ethics, values, missions, these are all kind of like going hand in hand with this type of work. So certainly if you read the history of my project, you'll see that education was a big part of it. Goes back to tending my own inner child that struggled as a dyslexic kid, trying to understand why my brain worked differently. That I could be smart, but in certain areas, I couldn't get it. I really struggle with that. But of course, there are many tools and resources available for teaching people things. And even if they're smaller minorities, like not very many people are dyslexic compared to those that are not. So sometimes it's hard to find the right information, which is why, the emergence of, for example, Creative Commons and the concept of open source is so important when it comes to our ethics and the responsibility of using technology to really, get this information out there to help as many people as possible reach like a baseline level of quality of life existence. That's sort of like the humanitarian effort to have a standard of living, a certain level of education that's available to everyone. And I certainly believe that's in everyone's best interest. So here are 6 reasons why open source, online is great. One is cost savings. So open source software is often free or very low cost, meaning organizations can save money on software licenses. Now, I'm going to expand that to be like, Creative Commons license includes also creative work. So that's, your writing, your videos, this webinar I will be posting for free, just as a general thing. Freedom is also on here because users of open source are free to modify, use, and redistribute the code without any restrictions. Now, you'll notice the Creative Commons license has a variety of different options here that I've laid out, and you can read more on their website. I've chosen this one up here that represents, you can copy and publish, but you need to say it came from me, and you can modify and adapt it, but you can't change the license, which means it's share and share alike. So if you're inspired by my creative work and you adapt or reuse it in any way, you can't then make it, you can't sell it, and you can't change the license and say, oh, this is only mine now. So yeah, so they have a variety of different options. You can put that on your website, and then people know what level of creativity is accessible from your content. Quality is another thing that is a benefit for open source, because people tend to be passionate about their work and strive for excellence when they develop. And that's something also that we know but haven't quite implemented yet. The book Drive by David Pink, I think it is. He talks a lot about what we know in terms of intrinsic motivation and how external rewards of carrots and sticks are actually negative reinforcement when it comes to doing our best work when it is creative. It's not the same for other types of work, but specifically for creative work. So security is another big thing. Open source software is often more secure than proprietary software because the source code is open and available for security experts to review and improve. Innovation, open source communities are very collaborative and often develop innovative solutions quickly. And customization, open source software can be highly customized to meet the specific needs of the user. And I think customization is huge when it comes to art, because we're talking about editions of one of something, or at the very most, the max of 100, because anything in a that's more than 100 is, like, by definition, not art anymore. So timeless technologies. Timeless technologies. We're talking about how things have changed in terms of the tools that are available as we work in a world that is now globally conscious and with time zones and travels. So things are working 24/7 online with these platforms. And we're going to look at my project and talk about the specific things that I used as I was exploring. Now, there's many options for everything, as you know, but we'll discuss Kickstarter, Discord, Twitch, social media channels, which, we won't go into all of those. It's pretty known. Decentraland, VR chat, OpenSea, and a few more. And talk about things that are free, things that are donation-based, and things that are paid, a little bit about how the money works and funding a project like this. And I've kind of said that, like, crowdfunding or open source education is essentially free. It's kind of like in that range. And then when you come to video streaming and social media and entertainment, it's kind of like donation. Because a lot of stuff for creators, it's like, well, if you want to pay them or be a Patreon or send them tips or be a subscriber, it's sort of optional. Not everyone pays. And then there's paid, which is people that have, like, specific goals and they want you to show up at specific times. But this is sort of flexible. But we're talking about a range here. Things that are intrinsically rewarding and things that you get paid for. And that's the spectrum of free to paid. All right. So this is a good time maybe to take a break if you want. I have a little video here to remind us of why we are motivated to collaborate and be creative in terms of solving some of the challenges that are going on right now. This is a video of what the beach at Goleta looked like after the recent storms and everything got washed up. So. Yeah, if you want to take a pause or take a break, now's the time to pause the video. And then you can come back and we'll continue with a little bit more details. All right, so the Interdisciplinary Tarot Project. Why is it interdisciplinary? Well, we're talking about writing, performing, designing, image making, and so it adds up to like 200%. So it's a lot of work to be an interdisciplinary artist. There are so many techniques to learn and things to experiment. So it's a fun thing to do in your free time as like a recreational project, which is how this mostly came about. I sometimes tied it into educational classes I was taking or projects for work. I did a mentorship project where they wanted the artist to bring in their current body of work to work with the kids. So yeah, there's a variety of different things. I'm not going to go into all of that here, but yeah, so interdisciplinary, focusing on all these different areas. The Tarot Project is a really great example of that. What is one of the things that is important in terms of interdisciplinary art is process and literacy, because it helps to ensure that the work produced is of a high quality and a cohesive purpose. The process encourages creativity and critical thinking, which is essential for interdisciplinary and literacy, which are essential. By engaging in a process to create art or literature, the artist or writer can explore different ideas and approaches, can gain a better understanding of the project as a whole. So, developing an idea. Processes can help to ensure that art and literature produced what is produced is consistent and cohesive. It allows also for feedback and revisions to be made through the creation of the project. By taking time to go through a process of development, the artist or writer can create a work of art or literature that is meaningful and has a purpose. And if you're someone like me, that purpose kind of reveals itself as you follow your intuition. And these two slides here are things that I've shared on social media. I think sharing the creative process and allowing followers or various people to give you feedback as things develop on your project is really important. A lot of people show development in their social media. So like pictures of work in progress and things like that are kind of fun. Down here on the bottom, we're talking about something a little bit different where I created these sketches of numbers and letters for my mermaid type project. Then I turned them into actual physical cards. And then I turned them into NFTs, which is a whole other thing. And so this is a picture of a 3D rendering of an NFT of a double-sided card that can, if you look at it in the right application, you can move it around and it has, reflections and it's like animated and it seems like something that exists in a virtual world, which is kind of like where we're at right now in terms of what's emerging as new technology. So we're going to start with social sharing because it's become this invaluable tool for artists to gain feedback and critique from their audience. Through platforms like Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, artists can then understand how their art is being received and how it can be improved. The key to getting the most out of feedback from social networks is to listen to constructive criticism and use it to inform your creative process. This can help you refine your craft and progress as an artist. Additionally, engaging with people who comment on or share your work can create an online community around your art, allowing you to build relationships with your fans and followers. And there's a link here for more information about the Mermaid Type project, which for me, all along the way, like my work is usually way out in left field. And even if people kind of get it, sometimes they're like, why do you want to do that? And I'm a bit confused, like, I don't know why I want to do that either. So I didn't get a whole lot of feedback necessarily while I was sharing my mermaid type project on Instagram, Facebook, WordPress, Twitch, or YouTube. That was direct, like an artist to an artist or a peer that you might invite to your studio to like have a critique of your work. However, I did spend a lot of time looking at other people's work and through the process learned a lot about what works or doesn't work. So yeah, it was, social sharing is feedback, even if you're not getting, like in my case, not getting a huge amount of interactions or comments on your posts. So that leads to the concept of crowdfunding or Kickstarter. So crowdfunding is a great way to get support. For the production of, in this case, tarot cards, and it allows people from all over the world to come together, contribute financially in order to help a project come to life. Through crowdfunding, you can get your tarot cards manufactured without having to worry about the high costs associated with traditional production methods. It's a great way to get creative and support the production of something you believe in. So yes, and I did get my initial project funded through crowdfunding, mostly through my friends' network of people that, continually show up and support my projects, and I'm so, so thankful for them. And I also met new people through the process, like the Indie Deck Review, and another reviewer from Australia actually reached out and was interested in my deck. So that was pretty cool. I definitely recommend Kickstarter. They provide a lot of different resources to help you figure out how to fund your project and things like that. And I've seen tarot deck projects fundraise like hundreds of thousands of dollars with lots of followers. And I think those creators have done like multiple projects and obviously built up a big following. So within tarot itself, it's pretty impressive how much money some of these projects get, how many followers and how much money they get. Yeah, it's impressive if you want to check that out. Surprisingly so. So now Twitch is where I'm going to talk about programming. So programming on Twitch is the ability for streamers to create and schedule content that their viewers can watch at specific times. It can include everything from fun interactive shows with their community to pre-recorded videos to live streams of their favorite games. Programming on Twitch allows creators to provide their audience with more diverse and engaging experiences. It enables creators to build a larger, more dedicated fan base, as viewers can come to expect certain types of content from them at specific times. Programming on Twitch is an effective way for creators to expand their reach and grow their community. So this is where performance comes in, because now I'm like, hello, I'm on the screen, I'm recording, I have to have a webcam. Maybe I have like a board with sounds and I'm having to kind of like figure out what people want to listen to. Now, thankfully, tarot is its own channel on Twitch. So there's kind of like a built-in audience, and people show up and ask questions. Now, most of these people are younger. So, the tarot readings kind of are ideally 18 and over, and you're kind of at the discretion of the person who's coming to understand that, that should be 18 and over. And then also, with my programming, I temper it down and try and use cards that are like softer and kinder, and things that are more optimistic and open-minded, because I don't know for sure that the person is an adult on the other end of the screen. So Twitch, bringing in programming to the process. And Discord is the next one I'm going to talk about, because Twitch and Discord work together pretty well. And I'm going to talk about robots, and how they're really just very commonplace for a lot of these people. And by these people, I mean the younger generation. So I consider myself to be a hybrid in the traditional arts and then technology arts because of the generation I was born into. So by younger generation, I'm thinking of people like in their teens, 20s, and maybe 30s. And some of us, there's less at the older you get. So this generation is growing up with technology, on top of technology, so to speak. So Discord is a place where they can come and chat with each other in these big online communities that have um, special servers. So for example, my my Twitch channel where I stream video tarot reading connects to a Discord server. And when you're on Twitch, you can see in the little widget how many people that are in my community are currently online in Discord. And then also have another widget that's a robot that keeps track of my queue. So when I'm streaming, if people want to sign up for a reading, they can sign up using commands in the chat, and it subscribes them to the list, and then I can do commands to just say who's next and who's next. I don't have to keep track or write it down. And then there's other robots that help keep out other robots, spam bots and things like that. So here we're saying that bots are used to automate chat moderation in Twitch and Discord because they offer a fast and efficient way to moderate a chat room. Bots are able to detect potential violations of chat room rules quickly and can take action such as banning users or muting them for a set amount of time. Bots can also be used to welcome new members to the chat room, send out reminders about upcoming events, and post links to interesting content. And this can help keep the chat room organized and make it easier for moderators to keep track of what is happening. And that's absolutely true. So, the proliferation of bots through chat all over customer service, as well as in things that people are doing for free. And 2 years of reading tarot, I don't know how many hours, and 500 followers, I have made $100 in donations through Twitch. So, yeah, some people do make a lot of money, some content creators, but it's primarily more popular games like Minecraft and other types of things. And also, like I said, it's not exactly my generation, but yeah, you should check it out. Between Discord and Twitch, there's a lot of really interesting community work happening. Okay, now switching over to Decentraland, and this is kind of like the next level. So I ended up through a friend of mine figuring out that Decentraland might be an interesting thing to check out. And I joined their server on Discord. And I also found some videos on YouTube of other creators. Decentraland is like a metaverse or a universe, so to speak, where people go and they can build whatever they want. So the concept is that it's a virtual world owned by its users. So you can create, explore, and trade in this first ever virtual world owned by its users. So the lands are like divided up into little squares, and you can buy a square of land and then you can put whatever you want. So there is an interview here with a link to Fractilians, who's a DCL or Decentraland reporter, who interviewed me when I had my tarot cards on display at Decentrafund. Now, the project has evolved since then, so it doesn't really exist anymore. But the video is there for a record as part of the DCL reporter. And Kevin on Earth is in charge of doing that. And I met a lot of really cool creatives through Decentraland. Now everyone knows that crypto isn't going through the best phase right now. So a lot of projects I think are kind of on hold, but it's a pretty exciting community-owned creative collaboration of interdisciplinary stuff. But the audience isn't quite there yet, because I think when it comes to NFTs, which is what we're talking about with Decentraland, there's just a lot of you know, speculation as to the value of that and if it's going to last forever. Now, OpenSea is an application that allows you to explore, collect, and sell NFTs, which also means create. So I created 3D versions of my cards. Actually, there's 2 in each NFT, so you can see the front and the back simultaneously. And they're made from 3D modeling, so you can kind of like touch them and move them. If you go and you click on the NFT, it's like a movable thing. So if you're not familiar, a non-fungible token is, it's basically like, well, it's just hard to explain. I'm not going to go into all of it here, but yeah, basically this application allows users to create their own digital assets and share them. They can go onto a marketplace and they can set their own prices. So out of 72 cards, I'd sold 2, and that's kind of cool. Maybe I'll sell more in the future. I'm excited that I got my cards on the blockchain, and that I had an exhibit, and that I sold a few, and I learned a lot about this concept in the process. And it's again like trying to build trust communities and generate value in a virtual world. And it's thinking about different methods for solving problems that we currently face in our economies and our global economies. And like, these spaces have, the brightest lights and the darkest dark. So you have really amazing people working on really great projects. And then you have some pretty, predatory people also causing problems too. Maybe we hear a lot more of that. But Sotheby's is in Decentraland, selling NFTs, and it's certainly part of the art world at this point. And so I tried that out, and I encourage other people to kind of explore what that is. Just conceptually. The next thing I want to talk about is Midjourney. So Midjourney is a program that also works with Discord, where you can get a bot. In fact, if you go back and look at that slide, you'll see that the Midjourney bot is in my own personal Discord server. And it's a feature of Unreal Engine that allows users to create realistic images with the help of AI-based algorithms. It provides developers with the ability to create high-quality interactive visuals with minimal effort. With the use of this AI-based algorithm, it allows users to create visuals that are more realistic, detailed, and convincing than ever before. The AI image generation feature also helps speed up the development process and reduce the cost of creating visuals. Midjourney is a tool that uses AI to generate unique and intricate visuals that can be used as backdrops, props, or other elements in games or VR environments. By leveraging AI and machine learning, Midjourney can create visuals that are organic, dynamic, and highly detailed. So, this is like a $10 a month subscription for Midjourney, but there's also other ones out there that cost less, although I think they're all moving to paid pretty fast because people are kind of interested in what this is. So I created like a mini deck. I just did the major arcana, and I used images by asking Midjourney to create mermaid tarot cards. And then I combined them with my own writing. And I used a WordPress plugin to make an interactive card deck. So you can go and click on a card, and one of these will pop up as you're reading. And I realized when I did the first interactive tarot deck online that I didn't have an interpretation written on the card. So you kind of have to have them memorized, which not everyone does. So in this version, I put the interpretation on the card so you can get a picture and words together. And yeah, there's a link to try that out on my website if you want. So yeah, there's a lot of conversation going on around AI and what that means. Yeah, write a comment. Let me know. Reach out. Let me know what you think about AI. I've already stated earlier that I think open source education and tools and platforms in software and in the arts are important first stepping stones to understanding and being able to recognize quality in art. I do not think AI will ever replace the unique, specific, individual expression of artists that, make it into museums. Maybe the person who developed the AI is the artist that gets to be in that position. But yeah, so I feel like democratizing creativity by making these types of tools that inspire people, perhaps to learn more and to understand quality more, are good things. I think ultimately they're good things, but that's up for debate, totally up for debate of how you experience these virtual worlds. We have, like a QR code that you can scan on your phone and go to a website. That's sort of, what's most familiar with people right now. Then we have these like cardboard kind of just goggles. You can put your phone in and you can view, you can just look, you can't do anything else. This came with a 360 camera that I have. So you can take a 360 camera picture on your iPhone, then you can put your phone in this, free cardboard viewer, and then you can look at your picture in 3D and move around and stuff. Then we have this one by Google and the Cube, which is specifically designed. You have one button at the top, so you can kind of interact with your screen. You can click on the screen. I guess there's one on the left. No, I think there's just one in the middle. And then you can play games that they've specifically designed. So this is like, these two headsets are kind of designed for a particular device, one for a camera and one for a game, and you get the headset to play those things. And then we have the Oculus, and it comes with these two like hand controllers. So now you have multiple buttons because you're using your hands. So you have, like 6 buttons on each controller, 12 different buttons, plus you can do movements. And with the Oculus, you've got cameras, so you can actually play without a headset, without the handset at all, and you can just use your hands. And the cameras on the Oculus headset will like read your hand movements if the lights are on bright enough. There's not too much in the background. Yeah. Anyway, and then on the other hand, we're moving into full body tracking. And there's a lot of different things out there, but then it can tell like where your legs are moving and if you're standing up or sitting down. So your avatar in virtual reality is like moving more like you. So yeah, where we're going with the tools and the devices and what's happening is pretty exciting. I just wanted to say that if you're interested in getting in touch with me about the Mermaid Type project, or if you want to share the project that you're working on, I look forward to hearing from you and continuing this conversation. So yeah, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. And thank you so much for listening to the Hocus Pocus online presentation. I hope you found this information useful and that it's sparked your interest in interdisciplinary art projects. And I really appreciate you taking the time to join me today. So until next time, bye.